Hello, friends and colleagues. What are you passionate about? Passionate.
The Passion Show on CFRU 93.3 FM Guelph, Ontario. With Wizard.
I'm a water wizard, Harry.
With
Hello world! You are listening to The Passion Show with Wizard on CFRU 93.3 FM. It's a do-it-together radio show all about passions and the people who have them. My name is Wizard.
My name is Sophie.
Sophie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Wizard.
Sophie. Always the passionate one.
That is very true. I can say that I have a great many passions. I'm not sure what our discussion will bring us to today, but I'm sure it'll be fun, so stick around.
Stick around. Wow, we were already telling them, you've been listening to this show for 40 seconds, and don't turn it off, please.
Keeping the viewers engaged.
That's very nice. And sometimes, if we're talking about engagement, sometimes I like to remind the viewers what channel they're listening to. It's CFRU 93.3 FM, but I think I just mentioned that a few seconds ago. But they're on the hook now. They're like super on the hook. We don't need to talk about that for the rest of the whole hour.
Perfect.
How do we know each other?
I think we met at the grotto through a very cool group of people who love to
Classic.
climb, which is lovely.
Uh-huh.
Brought together by the wonderful, brilliant Geet.
The late Geet?
Not the late, great.
No,
Excuse
no
me.
one told me.
No, my goodness. Can we fix that in post?
We can't fix that in post. I'm sorry. We're going to just keep that like it is. Sorry, Geet. Geet is sort of like a famous person on this radio show.
A prominent community figure,
Because
sure.
she is a prominent community figure, and she's never been on the show, and she may never be. That's her decision. But she gets brought up a lot, because everyone loves Geet. So,
Absolutely.
and she's alive.
Yes.
At least, this is kind of morbid now, because...
Let the record reflect that Geet is just a wonderful, kind, brilliant person
It's
who
true.
may make an appearance at a later date.
And is alive as of recording on August 7th, 2025?
Oh, I couldn't tell you what day it is.
Something like that. August 6th. Yeah, sure. Geet is alive right now. When you're listening to this, hopefully Geet is still alive.
Too many more years with Geet.
But I can't make any guarantees. Anyway, so you were invited to the climbing group by Geet, eh? Mm-hmm. Nice. How do you know Geet?
Geet is actually from the high school that my mom taught
That's
at.
right.
Yeah.
You guys are a couple of...
Belle River locals.
yeah, you're from BR.
I'm slightly outside of Belle River. I'm actually in Saint-Joachim, or Saint Joachim, a little French farming community.
Okay, that explains something.
Yeah.
You're a proud speaker of the Francais.
I sure am. So, first language at home with my mom, Franco-Ontarienne, Franco-Ontarian, so
Whoa.
French from Ontario.
Cool. Is there significant differences between Franco-Ontarian and Quebecois French?
It depends
Do you
who
know?
you ask, for sure.
Okay.
So,
I'm asking you.
Yeah. No, there are regional accents for sure. And
Uh-huh.
a lot of people get into a huff about people's pronunciation or the words that they're using, the slang that they're using or not.
Okay.
And I don't think that's the point. I think more people should be speaking language and not worrying about their accent or their grammar
I
or being
agree.
perfect at all times.
I agree. The spoken word is just a beautiful thing as it is.
I agree. I'm extra grateful whenever I get to speak French in Guelph, so if anyone wants to chit-chat en français, hit me up,
I know
please.
some French. Let me think of past guests who've known some French. Senior Banana is one of them.
Oh, okay.
A friend of the show, Senior Banana. Have you met this guy?
I'm familiar with his work.
You're familiar with his work, eh? How so?
At Hillside, I believe.
Oh, classic. Yeah, he is a prominent Hillside community figure. He's got that big, huge fan. And he does children's shows.
I had a great time at my first Hillside this year.
This was your first Hillside this year?
It was. Usually I work back home on a farm,
Ooh.
a government experimental farm during the summer.
Wow,
but,
that's really cool. We'll
Yeah.
put a pin in that.
yeah.
But this was your first Hillside, eh?
Yeah, it was really great.
Did you volunteer?
I did. I was on welcome crew. I welcomed lots of folks
Oh,
to the
sweet.
island. It was really cool.
You welcomed them to the island, so you were right out at the front?
Right at the causeway. So I was kind of
Oh, right. Wow.
posted up right there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
And see, that's fun. It's, of course, a bunch of these shows that get recorded around now are going to be all Hillside-centric. I might even have a guest come on. I'll keep their name a surprise, whose passion is just Hillside.
That's wonderful.
And it's going to be an entire conversation. I'm sure you and I will talk about things other than Hillside today. But Yeah, Hillside's pretty great, eh? Do you
Yeah.
have any stories you want to share?
I'm thinking really hard, but overall it was just like a lovely days of a weekend where I would just wander stage to stage between my volunteer shifts and see a few pals that I knew, or have a little mocktail, wander around a little bit.
Oh,
do a
mocktail,
workshop.
nice.
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
I was chugging so much H2O. I spent $0 this Hillside. It was great.
That's great.
I said, what if I just don't spend any money?
And that was a really good idea. I
Yeah.
was, however, lured into some of the vendors to buy some of their lovely things.
See, want to know something funny? At last year's Hillside, 2024, I bought this hat.
That hat.
The famous wizard hat.
The hat.
The orange, the viewers can picture a orange, classic, like, homemade wizard hat.
Kind of
Don't
a
picture
wavy
it too
brim.
hard, though. Focus on the road. I know you're driving right now. Yeah, wavy brim. It's got a couple pins in it. Community food and CFRU 93.3 FM, which, by the way, is the radio channel you're listening to right now. And so, yeah, once upon a time I did spend money at Hillside, but not anymore.
I'm glad you're past that.
I'm a thrifty guy. Miserly, even.
Did you have a favorite part of your weekend at Hillside?
Oh, yeah. I was doing my workshop for sure. Did you come to the workshop?
I did have the privilege of attending
I'm
the
sorry.
workshop.
I wish I could remember everyone who showed face at the workshop.
There were a whole lot of folks there.
But there were a lot of people, and I was pretty focused up. I wasn't trying to just favoritism my buddies. Because, if that were so, then I would, of course, have just talked with you for the whole time, and no one would have learned a thing.
You can't get to chitting and chatting when you've got to be teaching cordage.
Exactly. So that cordage workshop was pretty great. I felt pretty happy that people enjoyed that. But yeah, it was a great weekend overall. I had lots of fun. Lots of classic Hillside stuff occurred. How about you? What was your highlight? You said that you just liked the whole thing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed tent camping with a lot of my pals around one central tent where we hung out in our lawn chairs and giggled the night away.
Yeah.
It was really cool because people would be coming and going to their tents to get more sunscreen or what have you. And it was really nice to just meet up with people in our kind of home base.
It was pretty sweet, eh?
It was cool.
Were you in our... Man, I'm so forgetful. I was so locked in my own
yes,
universe.
Yes, I sure was.
So it was mentioned in the previous episode of the show with Christian Haddad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about the blender.
Oh, yes, of course, the blender.
The blender, that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Would you agree that, it was called the blender?
Sure.
Okay, very good.
Agree. I would
very
agree.
good. That was my idea.
Yeah. No, I love that idea.
I made that name.
You know what?
I'm planting my flag in that.
I love that idea.
There you go. It was good. It was a good little crew, a good little homie crew.
It was a lot of fun.
I think my favorite part of that was the bench lawn chair.
Yeah, it was really long.
Yeah,
it was
the long
3 seats or
lawn chair, more like long chair. Am I right? I think it was 4 chairs.
Wow.
Yeah, long chair.
I was on the ground. I did not have the planning capacity to.
I didn't bring a chair either. I just said long chair. That's gonna be for me. I'm gonna stake my flag in that.
And I think that's your right.
As my right. That is my right as a
founding member.
As a founding member of the council.
Yeah, for sure.
To sit in the long chair. Anyway, I feel I should ask you the question at this point. We've gotten too much into Wizard world. I want to get into Sophie world and have some Sophie-based discussions here.
Alrighty.
Everyone's been asking me, pestering me, pulling on my arm sleeves and asking, Wizard, what is Sophie passionate about? So what are you passionate about?
And I know that people want to know, but I'm passionate about so many things.
That's okay. Just list it off and...
Here's an interesting one, I think. I have worked at artisanal cheese stores for 9 years of my short life.
Artisanal cheese stores. That's crazy. Tell me about that.
Yeah, for sure. So when I was in high school, it was take your kid to work day in grade 9. And my mom works as a guidance counselor at a high school where the lovely Geet went to high school.
That's crazy. My best friend in high school, his dad was a guidance counselor.
Exactly.
So I know how it goes.
Yeah, so it's not really a take your kid to guidance counseling office at a different school kind of vibe.
Yeah,
confidentiality
weird.
And everything. So that wasn't a good option.
Uh-huh.
And my dear father works in our basement remotely. So that's not a very fun take your kid to work day either.
Yeah, boring.
So I was surveying the neighborhood, and there's this lovely other Franco-Ontarian lady named Sarah Barrett.
Oui, oui.
And so I did my Take Your Kid to Work Day with her and her newly started cheese business called The Cheese Bar.
The Cheese Bar.
Down near Windsor, Ontario in
All right.
Tecumseh. And I did my Take Your Kid to Work Day with her. And I already knew about cheeses because my family would go on road trips and we'd stop at as many artisanal Ontario cheese producers as possible.
Okay, that sounds great. Did you ever go to Pine River? Pine River Cheese?
I have had the pleasure of having their cheese. I've not
Nice.
visited, though.
It's right near where I went to high school in Kincardine, Ontario.
Very cool.
So I got a lot of Pine River cheese curds when I was a kid. Anyway.
What a treat. What a treat.
It was a real treat. Those things are not cheap, which is odd because they're cheese curds. You think they'd be the cheapest.
Yeah, it does.
They're literally like detritus.
It's true. It's true. It's a little snack. It's portable.
Yeah,
I
that's
do love a
true.
curd.
Yeah.
Do you love poutine for your curds, or do you just
Poutine.
eat the curds?
I just eat the curds. I mean, I do obviously like poutine because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Canadian legal citizen with a tongue connected to a mouth connected to a heart.
And a lot of people love cheese curds because they're just so good.
And they are very good. Mm-hmm. So there you were, you'd grown up driving around going to artisanal cheese shops with your parents, and now you're hanging out with Sarah Barrett
Yeah.
in the cheese shop. What was it called again?
That's called The Cheese Bar.
The Cheese Bar,
That's
that's
back
right.
home.
I imagine like a big bar cheese.
Yeah. I've also had the pleasure of recently working at Tomme Cheese Shop downtown
Tomme.
Guelph, which has been really special and really lovely.
Oh, I saw you out in front of that shop with former guest Christian Haddad.
Amazing.
The day after we recorded. Isn't
It's
that
so
funny?
nice when we all come together on the streets of Guelph.
You know what I call it?
What?
The Passion Network.
Wow.
We are all connected. We are all trapped in the spider's web of passion.
We really are, and it's so nice.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh my gosh, there's Sophie, future guest.
Part of it all.
And you're just standing there hawking your wares. You're like, cheese here. Get your cheese here.
That is pretty much the official sales technique,
Okay.
is to just holler in
Holler.
the street about
Hoot-
cheese.
Do you hoot as well?
No, I've never hooted.
Just hollered,
Yeah,
eh?
just hollered.
All right. Well, I have a suggestion for you.
Maybe to take it to the next level.
Whoo,
I see.
Like an owl.
That's a really good idea.
Well, there you go.
That was a
That's
really good
It's on the
impression. Thank
house.
you for
On the
that.
house.
Yeah,
I learned it
appreciate
from the
that.
best. Birds.
Yep, I do love a bird.
You love a bird, or would you describe yourself as passionate about birds?
I would. I was fortunate enough to do a field season in ornithology as a research assistant in Algonquin Provincial
Wow.
Park, which was really nice. We were chasing around Canada jays during like the end of winter, spring breeding season.
Holy.
So that was really cool. Got to climb some ladders, handle birds with appropriate permits,
Nice.
band the little nestlings, and watch them grow up for a few days. It was really cool.
So you were like putting, when you say band the nestlings, were you like, like the leg things?
Yes.
Tell me about that. I've always been curious how that gets done.
Yeah, it's a long-term monitoring study that
Okay.
began in the park a good long while ago. And so they have tracked the genealogy of these birds, and they know who they're related to.
Genealogy,
which is
like how
very
much
cool.
they're related to the Robin Williams genie from Aladdin.
Not quite. You're close. How closely they're related to each other based on they have unique identifiers.
So nothing to do with their proximity to Robin Williams.
I wish,
genie.
however, no.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll recenter myself. I'm getting a little into goofy territory. It's been a long
And that
day.
happens. That happens.
Genealogy, like genes.
Yeah.
Like genetics.
Yes. There are lots of other words you could use to explain like the science of it, but the
Okay.
way I like to think about is who's related to who.
So it's like who is related to who.
Exactly.
who.
Except these are Canada jays or
so they
whiskey
don't say
jacks,
who.
So they don't say much.
What they don't say much?
No, they just kind of squeak a little bit when they're near you, and they
Aw.
love to be near people because they love food.
All right.
So they eat only primarily
Artisanal cheese.
perishable foods. Yeah, so they would eat artisanal
Okay.
cheese. They eat perishable foods that they store behind the bark of black spruce.
Oh, whoa.
Kinda
Behind
like-
the bark.
Yeah, so it's like a little mini fridge situation. So
Cool.
say they find some type of mushroom that they want to eat later, they stash it. And they have these very defined territories, as many birds do, so they
Okay.
kind of hang out in the same spot. And they either remember, like I like to think, where they stashed food, or they come across a tree and they say, that looks like a good spot that I would have left something, a little treat for later.
Okay.
And then they find their food, which is nice because the snow-covered ground of Algonquin doesn't have much availability during the winter because they live there all year.
Gotcha. Whoa.
Yeah.
So they don't migrate. They just chill.
They just hang out.
I do the same thing with treats, but I do it in between my walls.
That's great.
And my
What
like
kind of
inside
treats
the
do you
walls.
put back there?
Oh, you don't want to know about
I
that.
do.
It's just
really
kind of
do.
different treats, you know? Little
okay.
treats and snacks. Imagine little bits and bites.
I love bits and bites. I called them millimélos growing up.
Is that the French
That
name for
is the
bits and
French.
bites?
Yep,
So it makes sense that you call them that.
exactly.
That's just their name to
Yep.
you.
Yep, that's what they're called to me.
Millimelos.
Exactly.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I was
like
always
it.
wondering why on packaging it says the French name.
Mm-hmm.
It's for people who are French.
For people like me, yes.
who speak the language of French.
Yes,
Of Franco-Ontario.
exactly.
Or whatever. What is it you said there again?
I say franco-ontarienne, and
Franco-Ontarien.
that's like the feminine, adding the NNE at the end.
Uh-huh.
Don't know if you recall any French
Lightly,
lessons from
vaguely.
your former years.
Not quite.
That's okay.
I pulled an impressive 65 in grade 9 French.
And that's great. That's
I was
good enough.
incapable. I was like conjugating verbs.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And I have a lot of qualms about how they teach French, second
Likewise.
language to people, because I don't feel that it's conversational or useful.
No, not in the slightest.
I understand why we have grammatical rules, and it does certainly help, but I think to get people conversing in the language is a lot more important.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
What would be your like primary focus? Like how would you go about that? If I'm the prime minister now. Goodbye, Carcamarnie. It's Prime Minister Wizard, and I'm like, cabinet of French education.
Yeah.
Sophie,
Yeah.
quickly,
If
you have
I
to
was-
develop a brand new like paradigm. You have lieutenants who are gonna like implement it. You just have to give them the general idea.
Okay.
What is your like 2-paragraph pitch?
I think I've learned a lot from how my mom has taught French in an English high school, Bell River
Okay.
District High School. She would try to get people interested because they had to do some literature for sure. So she would get them interested in what the story
French
was
literature.
about. Yes.
Les Miserables.
Sure, yes, things like that. And she would pinpoint the things that students found most exciting, whether it be like food or music or something.
Or
and then she
like,
would bring that into the
Javert.
classroom.
It's a character.
In Les Mis.
Yeah.
Yeah. She would find the thing that people were excited about and then make sure that they cared about it. Like, she would bring a waffle maker into class if a story mentioned waffles, and they would enjoy that and talk about the significance of dishes
cool.
and things like that to get people interested in what they were learning about, and contextualizing it for them, not being some far off place
Yeah.
or some people that they don't know anything about. So I think that was really successful for getting people engaged in learning the language, and she's just a really cool lady, so she did a great job at that.
So you're gonna be like, we need to make sure all the French teachers are really cool ladies.
Yeah, ideally.
We're gonna have to
and really
spend our
cool
budget
people.
on waffle makers.
Maybe.
I'm being intentionally obtuse, but I understand exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
No, I just think
I
it
think.
shouldn't be conversations about people's accents. And in French we say insécurité linguistique, linguistic insecurity, being ashamed of someone's accent, of your own accent, thinking it doesn't sound as good as other people's French
Gotcha.
accents or dialects or slang and things like that.
Uh-huh.
And that's not the point. It's just to keep practicing and keep doing it and sharing it with people.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because there are like just as many French accents as any other language, eh?
There are quite a few.
Wow. Because I know I've heard about like how different Quebecois French is from. Well, I mean, I guess Quebec French and France French are like essentially not different languages, but like different dialects, right?
Yeah, because they've evolved over very different timelines.
But like within even just like Quebec French, there are different
Absolutely,
accents.
regional accents. and
Gotcha.
things
So
like
it's
that.
like a Montreal and a Quebec and a
Yeah.
all those other cities I can remember. And
Yeah. No, there's a lot of it's a very big place, and there are a lot
Yeah,
of
it's
French people
huge.
that ended up in a lot of different places. So
Uh-huh.
people kind of have developed their own regional accents and
Gotcha.
come over at different times and learn different things from different people who are already living there or living next door to them. So people have evolved very different. I don't know. I'm not a linguistic expert.
Do you think you
but
could speak with someone who lives in like French Guyana?
I have.
There you go.
French
That
department
answers
at the
that
University
easily.
of Guelph has really allowed me to have conversations with people throughout the French diaspora all around the world that I didn't have that opportunity so much growing up in Windsor, Essex, southwestern Ontario. And it's been really, really interesting to have conversations with people from around the world and learning about how French has influenced their life.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Because there is like a French nation in like all across the world. Like there are French nations in Africa.
Yep. Through
and
violent
South
colonial
America.
processes,
Yeah,
French
exactly.
has ended up in a lot of places in the world.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot about that back to Hillside, when a lot of the performers were singing in French or speaking in French between their sets, and I could understand that and translate and share a little bit more about what they were saying with my friends who are Anglophone. So I thought that was really interesting, but I was thinking about how the language ended up in those places and the effects that it had on people and their pre-existing languages and cultures and things like that. So it was a way for me to hear what they were saying and understand what they were saying, but I had a lot of thoughts about it, obviously.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I consider myself a person interested in language, but it's fully, I'm just like English. I'm such an English guy. That's the language I know.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course, it's just the process of understanding the scope of the world. It's like every language has just as much like depth and interesting quirks and corners as I've, just begun to understand about my native language.
Yeah.
So it's really cool and enlightening to hear you talking about French with this kind of like interest and respect.
It's a big wide world out there, and there's a lot of people saying a lot of things in different languages. It's really lovely.
Français. It's another piece of French literature. Ratatouille. Remy le Mouse.
Really, really, really enjoyed that
Linguini the le chef.
I can honestly tell you that I've watched it twice in the past week.
Oh, everyone can cook, Remy.
Exactly. And I think that's a beautiful message. I really do. I grew up celebrating food a lot in my house. We either watched like French TV, Sesame Street, or Food Network.
There you go.
And so my family are farmers on my French side, and we grew up understanding where our food came from and having a deep respect for it, but then also seeing these people create these really elaborate dishes. And so I think about food a lot, and that ties into my wonderful cheese job.
Yeah, let's get back to we're almost circling back around to the cheese.
Exactly.
You know who loves cheese?
Who's that?
Remy the rat.
He does.
He got a little piece of cheese.
He does.
He's got a little piece of strawberry, and when he eats them together, it's like jazz.
Exactly. It's beautiful.
What a great
it's
scene.
Like fireworks. And that scene had a lot of criticism when it came out initially.
That can't be right.
That is absolutely correct.
Tell me about this.
It was too theoretical for people. They couldn't see.
It's like abstract. They're
Yes.
like, that's not what food is like.
Yes, because I don't know why.
It's
I think that's what food is like, if you
Yeah.
think about it hard enough. And if you have the time and the luxury to do that,
Uh-huh.
I don't think that's what
I mean, even
the
rats
critics
have
were
it.
referring
Exactly.
to. But yeah,
If Remy the rat can figure out some time to make a
exactly.
little strawberry and
Not
cheese
everyone
creation.
can be a great chef, but a great chef can come from anywhere.
That's what they say in the motion picture.
Exactly. In
No,
the hit film Ratatouille.
Patton Oswalt lending voice to Remy the rat.
Yep.
Directed by Brad Bird.
I love Brad Bird.
Yeah?
I do.
You love birds.
I do.
So you scans.
Exactly. Here are all my passions intertwined because everything's connected.
Exactly. Everything is connected.
Yeah.
He also made The Incredibles, which is another banger. And The Iron Giant.
Yes. Also really lovely.
I love that movie. It makes
Yeah.
me cry like a little baby boy.
I bet it does.
What do you mean you bet it does?
It's a very heartfelt film.
He called
and
me
you have a very big heart.
Oh, that shucks. That's so nice of you to... How do you know that?
Because
Who
you're
told?
a prominent community figure, Wizard, and I'm happy to be here talking
Would that
to you
be...
today.
Wow, I take that as a sincere honor that you said that.
It's true.
And am I well known for having a big heart? Uh-oh.
Yes, you are.
I need to lock in. I need
Just
to become
today,
known as
at
a
work,
raw...
I said I was doing this lovely interview with this lovely person named Wizard, and my friend said, "Oh, I'm doing one with them tomorrow."
Wait,
So,
who is your...
My friend Mara George Lee LaForge will be featured on the Passion Show.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh my god. It's true, first of all. I didn't know you guys work together.
we do.
That's wild.
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about that if you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
We work in the Indigenera Lab, so it's led by Dr. Diana Lewis, who's a Mi'kmaq woman.
So this is not cheese.
No, this is my school research job that I'm
Okay.
currently doing right now.
That makes
Yes.
sense.
Context, former student of the University of Guelph, just finished my undergraduate degree in environmental governance.
based.
which is awesome. It's political science, geography, a little bit of economics, and I've added lots of ecology type things to it.
Those are 4 important fields of study that all get along well.
Exactly. It's all interconnected. So that was really, really nice. I also got a certificate in Indigenous-led environmental governance, which was really special.
Okay.
And one of my course requirements for my degree was an environmental impact assessment class that Dr. Lewis taught me. And I learned so much from her. And I wanted to learn more. This was before my bird field season. I was taking a semester formally off school, even though I was employed by the university for that job. And I took honeybee biology distance education just to further my learning.
Okay.
But I asked Dr. Lewis for some book recommendations to understand more about the policy landscape for Indigenous peoples within the colonial nation of Canada. And she gave me some really wonderful book recommendations, and we stayed in touch.
Sweet.
And later she allowed me the opportunity to volunteer in her lab. So her lab is in the Department of Geography, Environment, and Geomatics.
Okay.
And it is Indigenous-led environmental health risk assessment.
That sounds fascinating.
Yes, it is very, very, very important work that I am very fortunate to be a part of.
So who again is the name of this doctor we're talking about?
Her name is Dr. Diana Lewis.
Dr. Diana Lewis.
And she's a Mi'kmaq scholar.
Okay.
She is absolutely brilliant.
I should, she sounds like she'd be a great guest on the fashion show.
Absolutely. She's probably the busiest lady on the face of the earth, I will say.
Sounds like it.
She works really, really hard for her community, the communities that she works with, people she's not directly related to, but it's for the betterment of Indigenous peoples everywhere. So her work is community-led. So this is an important aspect of it, is she originally started her work in a Mi'kmaq community out east, and the women in that community asked her to take the things that they learned together on how to do community-led environmental health risk assessment that was culturally relevant and culturally safe, and to adapt it to other communities who are facing environmental contamination or extractive industry. And so she works with many different communities, and primarily the women within these communities direct the work that they would like to have done to address the environmental health risks that they're facing in their territories.
And you get to be part of that.
I do.
That's amazing.
It is really, really wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is such a privilege.
So via that, a mutual friend.
Yes, my brilliant friend Mara, who is just the most wonderful person I've met.
Yeah, Mara's great.
Yeah.
That's such a funny. That I feel like you got. I'm not actually that prominent in the community.
You are prominent.
It was just a kind of a coincidence. You got kind of tricked and bamboozled.
No, this is not true. Everybody
Most people
knows
you could have met wouldn't be like, I'm going to be on the Passion Show tomorrow.
And that's true. However, to many more people being guests on this show, because it is a great time.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Because I do hope to continue doing this show forever.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, you're actually in sort of an interesting position. You are the very first episode of season 4.
Wow, exciting.
I decided long ago to arbitrarily, well, not totally arbitrarily, but pretty much arbitrarily divide the show into seasons. The first season contains 15 normal episodes and 1 pilot episode, which I decided would be episode 0 for some reason.
I love that.
And then following season 1 with 15 episodes, every season now has 13 episodes, because that feels more like the number of episodes that should be in a season.
I support that.
And so you are episode 1 of season 4.
Wow, that's exciting.
So there you go. Congratulations.
I'm so happy to be the inaugural speaker for this season.
I wish I remembered who the other first episodes were.
Get us all together in a room.
Exactly. Season 1, it was Simon. Season 2, it was Nuki the Bomb. Season 3, I think it might have been Senior Banana.
I'm
now
among
you.
The greats.
So you're in there among the greats.
Everybody that's been on this show has been so great.
It's true. I'm happy to say that no episode of this show has been a flop.
I'm happy to hear that.
Have you ever listened to the show?
I have, yes.
Really?
I can't think of any offhand.
No,
but
that's
I sure
okay.
have.
I won't press you on that.
No.
I've learned to not press on that kind of thing. It makes me come across like a tool.
It's just the recollection and the
yeah, it's
air,
on.
You know?
It's culturally prevalent. It just plays out of the speaker sometimes.
Yeah. And I really enjoy seeing the wonderful promotional pictures that you take with people and put on your
you.
story.
That's the first time that's been brought up on the show.
No, I love it. I always check your story and I'm like, wow, I know that person adjacently because, again, everything's connected.
That's true. And I have them all highlighted on there. So you can scroll and look at them all. And
Good to
there's like
know.
1 billion little pictures on there.
Very cool.
And that's actually, every now and then I'm reminded now and then that I should really promote my thing on this show. Other people do it.
Yeah. Self-promotion. Let's hear it.
My account on Instagram is called at wizard.collective. And also you're listening to CFRU 93.3 FM, by the way. If you forgot what radio channel you're listening to. But if you follow me on there, then you get to see a picture of me and my guest every Thursday or sometimes Friday when I forget to post it on Thursday. And it's just like a little exciting, a little teaser of what's to come.
A glimpse beyond the microphone.
Exactly. So tomorrow on Thursday, August the 8th, we're going to have a little picture of me and Sophie on there. With our just mean mugging in front of the lamp. And I'm actually using, we're almost at the 1 year anniversary of this radio show.
That's so exciting.
And on August 30th, 2024 is when I took over, Friday at 9 p.m. and aired the first episode with Mark Chicho Spaniolo. And I have a special little surprise that I'm going to release, a very fun little tribute that I have put together. That's going to be on the Wizard Collective page on August 30th. And so you'll have to tune into that.
I absolutely will. At wizard.collective
At wizard.collective,
on Instagram.
exactly.
We'll be there.
Do you have any, we're pretty much exactly halfway through the show.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want to plug any, do you got any projects that you'd want people to check out?
I don't have any public-facing projects at the moment.
Interesting. Other than Tomme Cheese Shop.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I have my private socials. I will be...
You'll keep those to yourself, and that's your right. I have a private Instagram with my real name, and that's just for the homies. Despite the fact that it has twice as many followers as the Wizard one, embarrassingly.
And that's fine.
That's because it has existed for 13 years as an early adopter.
Let's remind listeners at home to check out at wizard.collective on Instagram.
Exactly. We're coming in for a third reminder. Oh, I ran it in there. So
we really want to get those numbers up.
That's all good. I got to bump those numbers. Exactly. So now and then people press me, really mostly just Mark Chicho Spaniolo. It's like, you gotta make animations or release reels or make a passion show TikTok.
That would be really cool.
It would be cool, but it's I don't need this show to be popular. I just need it to exist, and whoever wants to listen to it can listen to it. And maybe one day I'll feel that it would serve the show to promote it harder. Mm-hmm. And I do think it's a good and valuable show that anyone could potentially get value out of hearing. But I'm not super driven to promoting it hard.
Well, if you wanted to do a collaboration with a Instagram Reels expert to get some promo going, I'm sure there are lots of creative people.
Oh, darn. That's what you're going to say then. That's me.
That is not me. I am technologically inept.
Oh, that's okay.
I got on Instagram so late, unlike yourself.
Unlike me. But I don't know. I was a techie little dork. Tell me about... Okay, we haven't really finished this cheese story yet.
What's there to finish?
But you mentioned you got halfway through. I'm sorry to put the brakes on that Instagram thing.
No, that's okay.
I'm just
passionate about many things. I don't know if Instagram is
exactly.
one of them.
No, I want
to connect with my
This
pals,
has been quite the meta Wizard passion show centric past 10 minutes, and I get uneasy when I talk about myself too much. I want it to be. I'll be in here forever. You're only going to be in here for the next half an hour. So let's hear more Sophie stuff.
Okay, let's get
What do you like about cheese? Why do you keep doing it? 9 years is a long time.
Yeah, I've gotten rather good at it.
Okay.
I've built strong relationships with a lot of the cheese makers and other cheesemongers.
Cheesemongers? Is that an official title?
A cheesemonger is the person who cuts and sells, not the maker
of
cheese. So I could consider myself a cheesemonger, although I'm not sure I've necessarily earned that title.
Okay.
But
You've earned it in my books, cheesemonger.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I think cheese in my life has also been part of celebrations and gatherings with families and friends, family members and friends. So it's like omnipresent, I guess, in my house to have a meal that's just a bunch of pieces of cheese, and then to get to tell people that are attending who made this cheese, what their family's name is, what style they're using, how nicely they treat their animals, because that's a big part of it. I love to support local Ontario and Quebec cheesemakers primarily that are doing things well as possible to treat their animals with respect and keep traditions alive, but also innovate new styles of cheese.
Wow, new styles of cheese? Are there like new cheeses? I mean, I suppose there would be, right?
Yeah, so a lot of cheeses that have like big names. Take like Gruyere
yeah,
as an
Gruyere.
example. Just for the
Oh,
viewers
that's
at
funny.
home,
I never
for
put
listeners
together
at home.
that Gruyere is like in such an Englishy version of what the true pronunciation.
Yeah, it is
Gruyere.
a little bit anglicized, but so that's a cheese that you can't name Gruyere unless you're making it in the exact style, in the rules that are laid out in the proper region. So
Okay.
it's like champagne. You can have sparkling wine made elsewhere, but you can't call it champagne
Unless
or you'll
it's
get
from
in trouble.
Champagne.
Yes, same thing with cheeses.
Okay. What's the governing body of that?
It's AOP or DOP, depending on which language, and it's Appellation d'origine protégée. It's just like
Oh, this is the best.
There are
I'm in
legal
heaven right
rules
now.
about cheese, about what you can and can't name your cheese
Okay.
if you want to name it after a famous style.
So you can make up a new style.
Yes.
And you're fine.
Yes. So
And you might even have to register with the DOP.
yeah, if you're getting up there, that's primarily like European regional classic cheeses, prominent cheeses like that. But you can. There's a lot of rules about cheese. But what I like about cheeses made in Ontario is a lot of them are referencing these styles because these cheesemakers have gone to school. For example, Mount Noak Gouda in New Hamburg, Ontario.
Okay.
Lovely folks named Adam and Hanny Van Bergik.
Shout
Check
outs
them out.
to the
Really
Van
wonderful
Bergiks.
people. They make like over 16 kinds of Gouda.
I was going to ask about Gouda.
Yeah.
I love Gouda.
Yeah, so this is the one for you. They're just like a day trip away, where
Okay.
you can get them at lots of grocery stores that carry like local Ontario products.
Cool. So New Hamburg.
Yeah.
Not Old Hamburg.
New
That'd be like
Hamburg.
a 1 day
Exactly.
flight away.
Yeah, so they went to cheese making school in Gouda. So,
In
in the place that's named for the cheese, or the cheese that's named for the place. So that's who you want making your cheese, is people that learned the traditions, but then come elsewhere where there are different ingredients available, different milk types, things like that, that they then innovate with that. So an example of that is Guns Hill Artisan Cheese, taking you to Woodstock, Ontario now.
I'm closing my eyes and I'm
Yes.
going on a virtual drive down the 401.
So Oxford County is the dairy capital, or at least was the dairy capital of Canada.
That's
Lots of
incredible.
cheeses made in Oxford County.
I have a
for
lot of friends who
a long
grew up in
time.
Oxford County.
Yeah, a lot of cows.
And that's good to know. That explains why they're all a bunch of cheese heads.
Exactly, a lot of cheese heads. So on Guns Hill Road,
Guns Hill
Guns
Road.
Hill Artisan Cheese exists.
That's
And
checks out.
the head cheesemaker, Mr. Shep Yisselstein, makes a cheese called Five Brothers. Which
Five
is
Brothers.
named after him and his 5 brothers.
That scans.
It is a cow's milk cheese that's more like a cross between an Appenzeller, which is a Swiss Alpine style cheese.
Okay.
So he couldn't make an Appenzeller in Canada and name it that. But what he decided to do is take an Appenzeller and kind of cross it with some of the techniques used to make Gouda, to make a quote-unquote new cheese in his own style with his own salt levels and his own warming temperatures and things like that to create this really wonderful
This is the
cheese.
best.
It is so, so good. It's my favorite in the whole world.
Can I get it? Do I have to drive to Woodstock to get it?
Not
To Guns
necessarily.
Road?
You can get it at Tomme, downtown Guelph. There's lots
Maybe
of
just
places
come
that
by.
carry Ontario artisanal cheeses. They're in lots of grocery stores now, but they still have their production, still artisanal production with milk from his father-in-law's cows primarily in Oxford County, right across the street.
I mentioned earlier that I'm a miserly little Mr. Penny pinching money bags.
Yep.
So the question, my next question is simple.
Yeah.
How much can I expect to spend on a piece of cheese that is, let's say, about the size of my fist
The size of your fist.
at Tomme
If
or
you
wherever?
flatten your hand nicely and you look at your hand, that's like a standard piece of cheese. And that could be anywhere between like 200 and 250 grams. Is a pretty
I thought you were going to say
normal size-
$250.
250 grams of cheese.
Okay.
So like a standard slice of cheese.
Like a quarter pound.
Yes. For 5 brothers, it depends on the weight. The exact cut is how cheese cheese stores, cheesemongers, the farm will
Cheesemongers,
sell
yeah.
it to you based on how much it weighs. It's priced per kilo.
Uh-huh.
But the size of your hand can run you like $12 to $14.
I can afford that.
Yeah. It's a special treat, and it's nice to learn about the backstory of cheeses and to read about the tasting notes and create new pairings like Remy and Ratatouille
Like Remy
if
and
you feel like
Ratatouille.
it. And it's just a really special treat, and it's fun to do with friends, with family.
Uh-huh.
It's fun to
This
try
could be a new
pairings before.
angle for me.
Yeah.
On like things to bring to gatherings.
Absolutely, yeah.
Instead of just a normal, like I'm so bad at that, bringing stuff to functions. Maybe I just bring myself down to the cheese shop
Yeah.
and get myself a fancy cheese.
Just one piece of cheese, and everyone can just have like one bite of it, but it's fun to have a story and to tell
Exactly.
people about where it's from, who's making it, what their cows' names are, if you have
And I
access
can
to
and
that
I can
info.
reference to this episode. I can say if you want to know more
Exactly.
about this cheese stuff. We don't even have a name for this one. What do you think I should call this episode?
Oh, I couldn't
The
tell you.
format is always like some little phrase and then with so and so.
You know what? Let me workshop that.
It'd be called it's gonna be called like a cheesy affair
Oh, okay.
or like getting
Getting cheesy with it.
cheesy with it.
Yeah.
Speaking on cheese. Actually, I
full
kind of
of
like that
ideas.
one.
Yeah.
Speaking on cheese.
I love to speak on cheese.
Cheese discussion. Something to that effect.
Now you're really thinking. You are a true wordsmith.
Oh,
know
you
that?
don't have to say that. You're a true cheese smith.
Thank you.
A real
I'll take
cheesemonger.
that. I'll take that.
It reminds me when you're talking about cheese like this. I have a friend, one of my close high school friends, the one whose dad was the guidance counselor. Everything is connected. Is a brewmaster, and like takes really seriously the creation of brewskis.
That's really cool.
It is very cool, and it really reminds me of how he talks when you're talking about like salt levels
Yeah.
and all those kinds of like intricate things that someone who takes seriously their craft knows about. It's like, oh yeah, that reminds me of him.
Yeah.
Talking about
Artisanal
beer.
food production is really special and increasingly challenged when there are big companies that want to make everything and sell it to you. So supporting artisans when you can is really cool, and it gets
couldn't
you
agree
the
more.
chance to get to know people in your community that are business owners that are creating things. It's really nice, and food unites us all.
I take seriously that kind of stuff in my life and on this show. Crafts, like people who are serious artists and artisans, and I really appreciate that you have named specifically cheesemakers. Are there any other cheese people you want to shout out?
Oh my goodness, there are so
this
many
public
wonderful
forum?
people. Recently, I met with Catherine from Fromagerie La Station
Okay.
in the Eastern Townships in Quebec.
Uh-huh.
They make a lot of really, really wonderful cheeses. They were visiting a couple weekends ago at Tomme Cheese Shop and brought a bunch of cheeses, including one that's never been off the farm before. So that was really cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It was a great visit. Got to speak lots of French, which was wonderful for me. And that's part of what I enjoy about my cheese job, too, is a lot of cheeses are French. And then I say the name of the cheese in my accent and sometimes anglicize it so people can understand me a little bit better. But just saying the name of something in French in my accent the way I would pronounce it first allows people to be like, wow, she speaks French. And then we can have a moment of French or as much as the other person's comfortable with, because not everyone feels confident in their accent and their pronunciation again. So sometimes people are shy, but I love to chit-chat with people in French no matter what.
That's a great opening.
Yeah.
Using the cheese excuse to be
Exactly.
like, Gruyere.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh yes, Gruyere.
It is such a treat to get to chit and chat in French about food and the things that I love.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. There are a couple of things I want to ask. We're lucky. We've got time. Thing number one I'm going to ask, can you just tell me a little about like the different metrics that a cheese can have, like different categories. Like you mentioned, I'm just remembering.
Yeah.
You mentioned like, okay, this one's made from a cow. This is a cow's milk cheese. You know, it has such and such salt level. It has such and such other qualities. Tell me about that. I want to know about that. I want to know like the specifics.
sure.
I don't think. I'm new to this world of thinking of cheese like this.
But
it excites
immense
me.
diversity in cheese from all sorts of places in the world. The cheeses that I know most about are particularly of like European influence. So there's a caveat for you. But the way that I like to think about cheese when I'm selling to a customer or having a conversation with someone is I start with milk type.
Okay.
So in Canada, most cheeses that you can get are cow, sheep, goat, or water buffalo.
Okay.
And then you can have some mixing of milk types or things like that. Vegan cheeses are made out of cashew milk or almond paste or sunflower butter or things like that as well. So that exists.
I like the first two, but the idea of sunflower butter cheese is a little...
It's
You
more
know, I'll
like
have to try it before I-
a spread than a cheese in
Gotcha.
terms of texture. So there's another thing that you can think about when you're breaking down what a cheese is the texture. So soft, either a fresh cheese, like a fresh goat's milk cheese if you've had that before, like light and fluffy and melts in your mouth. Or you can do a soft cheese like a brie style cheese with that bloomy rind on the outside and that runny center. And then you have semi-soft, which is firmer but still melts on your tongue. And you have hard cheeses, semi-firm also, if you want to throw another one in there.
Yeah, of course I do. Take me, you got time.
Yeah, there's lots of textures of cheese. And then when you want to get more specific and talking about the specific cheese, you can talk about all sorts of things. Some cheeses are earthy. They have a really deep, rich flavor.
Okay.
Some are light and milky. Some are really buttery. Some I would describe as nutty. There's,
I like a nutty cheese.
Yeah, me too. A nutty, salty, firm cheese.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
I
with
also
that.
like a stinky cheese.
Yeah,
I like it like an odorous,
for sure.
like a pungent cheese.
Yes, there are different levels of pungency for sure.
I'm going to have to get into the cheese shop when you're in there.
Yeah, that would be
and
cool.
you can find me some weird, I can give you all my specs and you can give me cheese.
Let's do that. Yeah, they also do sampling at most cheese shops.
Oh, sweet.
So you have the opportunity to taste things and to hear about it from somebody whose job it is
cheese
to talk
expert.
about the cheese.
A cheesier.
Such as myself, yes.
A cheesier. What am I referencing there? A sommelier.
Yes.
A cheesolier.
Yeah.
A cheesemonger.
And so I've had the opportunity to work with people whose job it is to do pairings of alcohols, typically, with cheeses as well. That's not something that I'm as well versed in, like you were saying, your family friend who does the brewing. I don't know that much about the science of that, but I know people who know that. So it's
there
nice
you
to
go.
work with people and to host an evening where you're talking about things that go together. And
Yeah.
doing the ratatouille pairing.
That's great. That's what this show is all about.
Ratatouille pairings.
People talking, pairing different kinds of minds.
Exactly. A
With
pairing of
me.
the mind. A pairing of the cheese.
That'd be kind of cool a passion show where the host is different every time.
That would be interesting.
But then it would be a different show.
I was just thinking it would be interesting if you had printed the photos of your special guest stars on the Passion Show and you ran some red string between them to see how everyone is connected.
That's
like
a really phenomenal idea, actually.
Murder board like they do on the detective television shows.
Maybe that'll be my thing at the end of year 2.
That could be nice. It could be a good recap.
It would be a very good recap.
Yeah.
Because I'm not to reveal too much about my special tribute, but it does make use of all those pictures that I've taken.
Interesting.
And I've always been, to just make a long story short, I've always been very austere in my room decoration. I like clean walls, but something in my brain flipped a couple of weeks ago. And I've started running like long strings of jute all around my room with command hooks and clothespinning pictures and letters and drawings and stuff to it that I've received over the years and just kept in boxes under my bed. And so I am now, it's very like sort of unsettling my room now.
I'm sure it's lovely to be surrounded by these nice memories.
I do love it. And I just, before I came here, I went to the dollar store and bought some more hooks.
Cool. Perfect.
Because I'm just addicted to it now.
Yeah.
And so I could make a very cool, perhaps unsettling
murder board
network.
Everything is connected spiderweb.
The Passion Network. Mm-hmm. And I'm very weird about remembering connections and stuff.
I'm sure it could be.
So I bet you I could summon in my mind
community contributions also if you need help drawing parallels.
No, I can draw all kinds of parallels. Are you trying to? If you want to come back next summer And hopefully you do come back next summer. It's been great having you in Guelph.
We'll have to see. I am off to Thunder Bay for my master's.
Exactly.
At Lakehead University.
So you're going to come visit us because you love us.
I do love Guelph and all the beautiful people I've met here and all the wonderful places I've spent time.
All the other people who go to Thunder Bay, they never come back. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
We love them. There is a
I have
real
heard that.
Guelph to Thunder Bay pipeline, and it is a one-way. It is Guelph to Thunder Bay.
I guess we'll see what happens with me, but I'm excited to spend time.
Exactly. And it's
at the
okay. You're
school.
going to serve yourself. You're going to do amazing work, and we're going to love to hear about it.
Thank you.
So there you go. I have another question about cheese.
Let's hear it.
You gave me great characteristics that cheese can have.
Perfect.
I want to know about your personal taste in cheese. What kind of cheese things to you? Tell me some of your all-time favorite cheeses.
And it's a very big, wide world of cheese.
It's a big, wide world of cheese.
So, like I was mentioning earlier, Five Brothers is a cheese that I really enjoy, but people outside of Ontario might not be as familiar with that, or people that haven't had the pleasure of knowing that cheese in particular. So sometimes people ask me my favorite cheese, and I feel like I sound like a snob because I reference
Be a
something
snob.
really niche,
Snob
and really
is good.
specific.
Good, excellent. Well,
But a lot
imagine
of
if you were just
artisanal Ontario
craft
cheeses.
singles.
Yeah, I can't say that I grew up eating craft singles. We did have an orange Cracker Barrel bar in the fridge for
Classic,
sure.
yeah. That one's always in my
And
parents.
you need that, right?
Yeah, that serves a function.
Yeah,
certainly.
we used to cut it into cubes and then stick a stick pretzel into it and eat that at our small wooden table in front of the Sesame Street as a sibling stack sometimes.
That's great.
Yeah, it was lovely.
But that's not your favorite cheese.
No, I wouldn't say that's my favorite cheese. It certainly has a nostalgic energy, but it's not my favorite. I would say Five Brothers is likely my favorite cheese on the face of the earth, just because I've gotten to know Mr. Yisselstein and his family over the years.
Tell me about the cheese again. What's the style of
Yeah,
it? I feel like you already talked about it.
Is the Swiss Alpine that it's blended with, and then Gouda. So it's a firm cow's milk cheese. It is firm, salty, nutty, beautiful.
And it's just good. You like it.
It's just
good. How do you eat it? Do you just
eating.
take a chunk?
Yeah. Honestly, most times when I'm eating cheese, I just put out a big hunk of cheese on a board and leave a knife, and I put some things that pair with it around it.
Crackers and grapes and stuff like that.
Exactly. Some of my family members love the pairing part. My sister loves to just eat the cheese part and then eat the other snacks later. You can do whatever makes you happy.
That's what I usually do. I try and close my eyes and eat cheese slowly when I get to eat fancy cheese.
Yeah, you don't want to overindulge necessarily because then you'll be sad later if you don't have leftovers.
Exactly.
But I do lots of things with lots of different cheeses. Like Five Brothers is a great melting cheese also.
Ooh.
So
it's hard to find a great melting cheese.
Yeah, that holds its form enough, doesn't
break down and
split,
get all oily and
you don't want it to be too oily and strange.
Maintain its emulsification or whatever.
Yeah, sure, you could say that. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. They're not all made for melting. And so sometimes it's sad when you put $8 worth of cheese in a grilled cheese and it's just not hitting the way you want it to hit.
It just turns into nasty.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that.
You want it to maintain into yummy.
Exactly. And that's what I always say.
Tasty.
So I'm glad someone's saying it.
Well, there you go.
On the record.
It's on the record. This whole thing is on the record.
Amazing.
So Five Brothers, it's a good cheese. They sell that down at the Tomme, at the Tomme Shop.
Yep.
Well, I'll be there.
Yep.
Well, I'll do a little sample of it before I commit. Different strokes for different folks, as they say.
This is true. I think my taste in cheese can be fairly approachable, but I also appreciate things that are bolder.
Because, like I said, I like a stinky cheese.
Yes.
I like a stinky. My favorite cheese has historically been halloumi. I love to grill up a halloumi.
Yeah.
With the olive oil and the crushed up garlic and oh man, that's some tasty.
That is some tasty stuff.
And I really like Havarti too. I really like as pungent and old Havarti as I can find. I feel like that's a good cheese.
Do you enjoy the texture of it?
I do.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it when it's really salty and really nutty and just really smacks me around something.
Whoa. Yeah. That sounds good.
saying?
Sometimes you eat a cheese and it goes, whoa.
Yeah, the cheese is
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of brie.
Okay.
I feel like everyone I know loves the brie.
Have you had
But maybe
it
just
at
haven't had a good
room
one.
temperature?
Yes, but
You're not
it's way good when it's melted.
That
That's
is also
kind of
really
fun.
nice. Yeah. So
But
just
it's
make
just
sure you're
kinda
not
boring to
eating it
me.
cold out of the fridge.
Okay.
Because the flavors really wake up and the texture really gets butterier and nicer as it's more room temperature. There's ideal temperature eating for some cheeses where you can really get a better experience.
Gotcha.
So if you have time to leave your cheese out 20 minutes before people are going to be enjoying it. That'll really up the experience.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good. We're getting close to the end of the show here. We've got a couple more minutes before. We got like a minute and a half before we're going to do gratitude.
Alrighty.
So is there any, it's always such a sad time to get into this part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you want to say? Here you are on CFRU 93.3 FM. You've got the next minute and a half to say whatever you want.
Here
Be about
I
cheese or your family or,
then I fear I'm going to get into the gratitude portion early.
Oh, don't even. Okay, yeah, just focus on cheese. Focus on cheese. What's their final cheese remarks?
My final cheese remarks.
What cheese is... what cheese do you hate? What's your least favorite
question.
cheese?
I don't dislike any cheeses.
That's a perfect answer.
Yeah. There are some really, really interesting styles of cheese from lots of places in the world that I haven't had the pleasure of trying. I'm excited to try more and broaden my cheese horizons and learn more. But
broaden your horizons.
I've not run into a cheese that I didn't enjoy for some reason, whether like textural or story behind it or flavor or
you can
just
appreciate
experience.
it on some level.
Yeah.
No matter
There are some
what.
I wouldn't purchase again.
It's like art
but,
that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It's like sometimes that's what it's meant to do.
Cheese that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, cheese is an artistic expression of the artisans who make it.
Mm-hmm. And a labor of love, and ideally a good relationship between them and their animals.
Man, that is such a beautiful way of stating it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it would be unfortunate to even go beyond that. I feel like you've laid out your appreciation of cheese quite well. It's nice, you came into this show wondering what we were going to talk about. You're like, I'm passionate about all kinds of things. And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But we got into a good cheese-centric flow here for the past half an hour.
Yep.
And thank you so much.
I love being in a cheese-centric flow.
Yeah, cheese-centric. That could be the name of the episode.
A cheese-centric flow?
Cheese-centric flow. I think I'll stick with that one.
I like that
if I remember when I get around to naming it. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm going to share some gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's our tradition on this show. Mm-hmm. And then you can share gratitude. That way you'll be the last. And that's why I get to go first.
Love that idea.
So I'm actually just letting you go second and last.
Merci.
So I am grateful for the wind. I'm grateful for the clouds. I'm grateful for my family who always put cheese on my plate. I'm grateful for my job at the Guelph Outdoor School. I'm blessed. I'm grateful that I get to tell stories every day. I get to sit down and tell a story to children, which is pretty crazy. I'm grateful for food. I'm grateful for coming together. Grateful for circular tables. I think tables should always be circular.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm grateful for. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for a great many things. My family. I'm grateful for the people that I've met in my time in Guelph. I'm grateful for my new friend Wizard, who I've spent some time with. I'm grateful for the people who brought us together. I'm thinking a lot about the cheesemakers and the people that brought me to them. I'm thinking about the animals, the ground we walk on. I'm thinking of all my relations as I've learned to thank all my relations. I know I'll be leaving some out, but not intentionally. They know that I know.
Yeah.
And so we're on the same page about that. But I'm just really grateful to be here today.
Thank you so much for coming on this show and trusting me with your hour. I hope you had a great time.
It's been a wonderful hour.
I had a great time. How do you say you're welcome?
De rien.
De rien.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been Wizard.
I've been Sophie.
And please do not forget, only love will stop the killing.
Only love will stop the killing.
Only
Seul
love.
l'amour arrêtera le meurtre.
Only love.